Hey, everybody. I know if you are a care partner watching this, that I don't need to tell you how draining your journey is. It can go on this journey of caring for sometimes years. It can be grueling emotionally and physically, and how do you maintain an emotional even keel? Is it even possible? Empathy is one of those emotional responses that can keep us feeling peaceful until it doesn't, until it tips over the edge or we tip over the edge. Empathy is a wonderful part of our human design. I mean, we all need empathy so that we all don't just stop caring about one another entirely. What would we do without it? But sometimes we can become overwhelmed with empathy. And when we go over the edge, empathy becomes toxic to us in our nervous systems and in our bodies. Empathy fatigue sets in. And, to over empathize with someone is to lose yourself in that other person. And that's what we're going to talk about for a couple of minutes. Making us pull back from the one we love most. That's what happens when we are experiencing empathy fatigue. Emotionally, we can go numb. We can feel agitated and angry and just all these things. We can also suffer from empathy fatigue physically. We can have um, sleep patterns interrupted, digestive disorders, headaches, uh, total exhaustion, and just general feeling awful. So, but empathy by definition is when we are able to feel into another. But we don't want to feel into another to the point that we lose ourselves. So, but what about compassion? Where does that fit in? We often confuse empathy with compassion, and and the two are linked, definitely, but they're very separate. Empathy, as I said a minute ago, is feeling into another. Compassion is feeling for another. And when we have healthy empathy, we see someone hurting and we are triggered. We can imagine their experience. And then, of course, we care for them. We're inspired to care. And but we have to realize that we are not that other person. We have to understand that we are separate. Some years ago, my wife Belle was diagnosed with dementia, and she went into a period of despair that was, overwhelming for me to watch. And I felt her despair in my own body. And I began to live her despair so that before long, we were both in despair. And of course, we were both miserable. And one day, my own coach said to me, Cheryl, you don't need to suffer for Belle. She has her own journey. She has herself. And by suffering or taking on her suffering, I was robbing her of her personal power and her personal selfhood. We were mirroring one another. And believe me, it wasn't pretty. So recognizing and remembering that we're not the other gives us a chance to stay grounded and present to the people that we love and the people that we care for. So how can we be good stewards of our empathy? How can we find that beautiful balance of empathy and compassion without going numb or going over the edge? Or how can we bring ourselves back if we have gone off balance? First of all, check in with your thoughts. When something is happening, pause, take a breath, ask yourself, what do I really need right now? And this next one that I'm going to describe, I think is so important. question your own thoughts and feelings. Ask yourself a series of questions. What are you thinking or imagining? Because when we're stepping into another in a toxic way or taking on their suffering, we're making up stories of what we think is really going on, and they belong to us, not them. So what are you thinking or imagining? What does this thought make you feel like right now? And what makes you think that your thought is true? These kinds of questions can help us reinterpret what is truly going on instead of what we're making up, what we think is going on. And then finally, and you will not be surprised at this, I'm going to suggest something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is learning the practice of meditation, but particularly a loving kindness meditation, which is referred to as metta, loving kindness. Studies are being done right now about how these loving kindness meditations can bring us back into balance. And if we haven't got out of balance, keep us in check, keeping that beautiful balance between empathy and compassion. And a loving kindness meditation is bringing up feelings of warmth, first for yourself, and then for someone that you care about deeply, and then a neutral person, and then a difficult person. Don't pick the hardest person. And then even total strangers. So meditation along the lines of loving kindness can go a very long way. And that's actually one of my favorite meditations that I guide people like yourself on all the time in many, many sessions or even online. And then finally, I want to offer you these three invitations that are so important, and I actually keep them pinned to my desktop and I look at them every day. And they're sort of like an invitation or a prayer. Here they are. May I be peaceful and let go of expectations. May I accept things just as they are. And may I be compassionate with myself, knowing the limits of my caring. So I hope that you take the time that you need to really care for yourself, not just physically, but emotionally, whatever that means for you. We cannot continue successfully and maintain our caring for the long haul until we really understand what true caring for ourselves means. And compassion and loving kindness begins right here. I'm always here for you, and I'm easy to reach if you would like to talk with me. My website has my telephone number and my email on it and an online calendar, and it is the same as my name, CherylHutto.com. I'll see you soon. Be well.